Hello everybody, how is it going? I am Lucas and today we have an old-fashioned duel on our hands. The mighty green drive panels. We have the Behringer TO800 versus the legendary Maxon 808. Now the Behringer is actually a clone of the 808 essentially, but the main thing that's different about these is that this one is vastly cheaper than this one. When this one first came out a couple years ago, I think it was like $10. It rose in price to about $25 to $27. I got mine for like I think $27 off of Amazon. And Maxon is roughly about $100 new depending on where you get it. It's a little different if you buy it used. So there is a major price difference between the two. This one obviously is in a plastic housing. It's a little bit more flimsy than this one. This one's, made of metal. It's good, it's true, it's tried, it's tested. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them head to head, see how they sound. Gonna be using my 5150 combo that is behind me. We're gonna be running that into my 2-notes captor, into my computer. We're gonna run it on the clean channel. We're gonna put it on the, we're gonna put a little more crunch on the clean channel, and then we're gonna use it on the lead channel to see exactly how it uses as a boost. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so we're all plugged up. This is what the clean channel is gonna sound like. Coming through my 5150 combo, it's right behind me. Let's kick things off with the Behringer. Initial impression is the Behringer sounds a little bit darker overall. All right, let's crank some here real quick. All right, let's crank up the drive a little bit. Let's get that tone going in there and crank up a level a little bit. Let me match things over here on the Maxon. Okay, let's start with the Maxon this time. Let's crank the drive all the way on both. Crank the drive and tone, why not? All the way, all right, let's go. Let's start with Behringer this time. Let's put a little bit more crunch on the amp and let's change the settings a little bit. All right, so we've got a little bit more drive on the amp now. All right, so 5150 calls it crunch. And I have the level cranked and the drive and tone are at 12 o'clock. Let's kick things off the Maxon. Once again, it seems that the high end's a little bit better on the Maxon. I keep hearing it here too. Let's max everything out. Why not? Let's go. Okay, we're maxed out. Let's start with the Behringer. sounded kind of the same. They started their different flavors, but they kind of sounded the same and cranked them up a little bit. Okay, let's move over to the lead channel and let's play some metal. Alright, so now we're on the lead channel. We're going to have the drive completely down at 0. We have the tone and the level or straight up at 12 o'clock. This is what our lead channel sounds like with no pedals. I'm going to do the Maxon first. Alright, let's crank the pedals a little bit. Let's see, I'm just going to crank the tone up pretty high. Put it about 9 on here. Let's jack the levels all the way up. Why not? Jack the levels up and put the tone about right there. At 3 o'clock for the tone, let's start with the Maxon. As you can hear, they both do cut the low end a lot. They still have their different tastes coming through. Okay, let's put them wide open. Let's have level all the way up. Let's have tone all the way up. And let's see how it sounds. We're going to start with the Behringer this time. Once again, it seems that that high end is coming through a little bit clearer on the Maxon, at least in my opinion. So let's talk about the test and talk about each pedals a little bit. So for the TO800, it says right here on the box, it says that it uses the original 4558 IC plus the MA150 distortion diodes for the authentic vintage sound. And it has this cool little guy here. He probably plays ska. It looks like that guy plays ska on the side of the box. But discussing both of the pedals themselves, when it comes down to it, is the Behringer a worthy clone of the Maxon 808? Yes and no. I find that the Maxon, it does some more cooler stuff in the high end, like I said. It has a little bit sweeter high end on the EQ curve, and it tends to sound a little bit better. It gives you pick attack a little bit more oomph to it. It cuts through a little bit more. For the Behringer, it seems that it's a little bit darker, like I said. It doesn't have that nice sweet high end that this one has. Overall though, when it comes to sound wise, whenever I had it boosted, you know, whenever I was using the clean channel and stuff, the Behringer does okay. It's not a horrible, terribly sounding pedal. It does alright in that regard. Like I said, it is a little bit different. Even though it is a clone, it doesn't sound 100% like the 808. Now, a lot of my issues and concerns with the Behringer has to do with the housing of the pedal is in. It is plastic. I mean, there's no way this would hold up on a tour if you're constantly stomping on it a lot of the time. It seems that it would get worn out fast. This is metal. This enclosure is metal and it's tough. I mean, this one has some dings, so it's meant to last. For the battery pack of the Behringer, you push both the little sides right here of these tabs and it pops open and you can put the battery underneath. And it tells you in the instructions not to scratch it, but the problem is when you push it, I was pushing it earlier with some pins and it already got kind of scuffed up. Longevity is definitely a concern with this pedal. Yes, it is not very expensive. It's only, you know, $25, so I guess you kind of get what you pay for. Also, whenever I had the pedals, you know, on the floor and I had them coupled together, it kept popping out on this input, on the jacker here on the input. It kept popping out. Like it wasn't biting fully in there. It was biting fully in the Maxon, but for some reason these ports right here aren't the best and they don't exactly, you know, snap on like they should. The knobs themselves feel good whenever you're turning. The LED light is good on it. Overall, what would I have to claim would be the champion? I would have to go with the Maxon. Of course, it is a little bit more expensive. You do get what you pay for. But the Behringer is alright, like I said before. It sounds okay. I kind of prefer the Maxon. Like I said, that high end sounds a little bit better. On attack, it sounds a little bit sweeter. The Behringer would be good for someone if you're looking for your first kind of drive pedal, if you're just kind of getting into pedals and you kind of want to explore it and you really don't want to spend a whole lot of money. In a mix, I think it would be kind of hard to tell, especially if you're playing on a lead channel and you're slamming it with tons of gain. You can kind of also make up for that high end range a little bit. You can kind of make up for that in some post EQ a little bit. Enough about me and my thoughts. Let me throw it over to you. What do you think about this duel? Do you think the Behringer won? Do you think the Maxon won? Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments down below. As for me, I'm gonna have to be out. Peace.